Good morning. It's just setting up the information that you need for this week's assignments. I wanted to kind of feature the last two slides of last week's assignment on choosing your career. So as you're hopefully working through that, make sure, like I said last week, give yourself some time to get your space set up and sort of get your mind focused on the work that you're doing here. There is a lot of reflection needed. So the hard work is just taking some time to quietly reflect on all of your strengths, interests, values in the first part of the assignment from last week, and then really make some tough decisions. So for those of you that have asked questions and reached out about not being sure about which direction to go in, that's totally normal. It's kind of a scary time to figure out and set in stone your plans, especially if this is where your next steps are taking you in life. So completely normal to be feeling that way. And it's nice to have some support and someone to kind of hold your hand through it too, which is what we do. So make sure that you reach out. We can work through like giving you different question prompts or helping you figure out exactly what you need to be thinking through and considering. We got to see you working when we were with you in the classroom, so I feel like we have a lot of observations and feedback to give you when it comes to setting these career plans into motion here, which is what you're doing. So I went through assignment P11. Again, we're in the section of Google Classroom called 11C Portfolios under HR Management. So P11 was last week, choosing that career. And then this week, what I'm going to do is just talk about the last two slides of this assignment. You can have the whole week to finish it. I think I talked to one person this weekend where they were going through the first few pages, maybe a little too quickly, and then I gave them some question prompts. They decided to take a little time, a couple days, to just talk to their parents and kind of reflect on it, maybe think a little bit on it. I think that's a great idea. And then they came back to it a little more yesterday. I got them connected with a good friend of mine that can be a valuable mentor and help as well in college. So we even talked about college plans, what school, what degree program. And it's just a starting point because you could obviously go anywhere with these plans that you're making this week. But I want you to make sure you keep me posted on what your plans are as they develop. That way I know you're working on it, and I know that you are also, oops, sorry about that, that you're also plugging away. So slide number 9, when you get to this point, you will already have made some key decisions for yourselves on what you want to do beyond high school. Let me just get to the right Zoom. Here we go. So on slide 9, what I want you to do is open your LinkedIn account and then use the work that you created in slide number 5 up above to go back. Take a look at what you researched for your career. Slide number 5, just to refresh your memory, is what career you actually selected, what's required of it, the pros and cons that you jotted down. I want you to create your headline, which is just this top portion here of your LinkedIn profile. It just says kind of what you do, but because you're high school students right now or soon to be graduates, you may not have that professional job title to put in there yet. And I don't want you to say that you're a high school student, so I've highlighted that here. I want you to maybe consider words like aspiring sales manager, whatever it might be for you. I know I talked to one student last week who said, I'm really shooting for the all-star profile on LinkedIn. I think that's great. I got mine in there as well. That just means that you've filled out a certain number of components of the platform or of your profile. So let's see, tell them which professional job you hope to get someday. And I've linked a number of former graduates of the program. They're all different ages. I'm going to add one more in here. Courtney Green. I will add the hyperlink in there as well. They all have great careers. Some are in college. None of them are in high school anymore. but you can see where the approach that I gave them has kind of developed into something else over time as well. So check them out. I think you'll be motivated and kind of interested to see how simple it really is. So don't overthink this part of it, but you have to do the prior work before you can get to this part and make it super easy for yourselves. So the last slide, what I want you to do after you get that, just that bio kind of info up there for yourselves again. I want to get the zoom in just a little better here. I want you to go into Franklin Covey's mission statement builder. And I have a hyperlink right here. And then I'm pointing to the tab that you want to start with up here. You're going to want to go back to slides 2, 3, 4, and 7 and then read through your information just to get it top of mind, and then go through the different prompts that you have on this Franklin Covey page. What it will do at the very end is give you a summary of all the questions that you answered. It's kind of nice to read it. Then I want you to go into, don't delete it, take a screenshot of it or whatever, just keep it for yourself. You can email it to yourself, you can print it off. I like to go back in every year when I run this lesson and redo mine and just see what's changed, and I'm pretty happy with what came up this year. So you never know, you might be surprised at where it takes you, but it'll give you some nice wording for this next piece, which is the About section down here in your profile. In your first paragraph, and you can make it as long or short as you want to, I have no requirements for the length. Mine is just a sentence or two. So describe what your purpose is for being on LinkedIn. So this is where it's no longer an assignment. Now you're owning that you're keeping this profile for a long period of time. Like I said, a lot of my students keep it and update it throughout their lives. So don't assume that you're never going to touch it again. More than likely you probably will, because I know almost all of you, I believe all of you, were actually like seriously considering a career in business. So I know that you'll definitely be using it in the future. So what I want you to do is make sure that you have a place here where you can express what you want out of the LinkedIn platform, like what's most important for you. And I gave you some ideas. Do you want to connect with professionals, share what you're working on with others? That's, a lot of people do that, and that's where they create postings and write certain pieces of content for their profiles, and I'll teach you how to do that in a later lesson. And then you compile evidence of your professional skills all in one place. So some people just keep it as a placeholder for all of their future degrees, certifications, jobs. So it's like a working live resume. You might have another reason, so whatever works for you there. Paragraph 2, describe what you want your future career to look like, and use some pieces of previous assignments here, previous like slides and things that you've already worked through, or take a look at that mission statement builder. Show the reader that you've done a lot of self-exploration, because you have. You've definitely focused on that with me this year. So paragraph 3, that last one, what have you already accomplished that led you down this path? For example, if you were a buyer in our school store, you might be looking at that as a career and maybe interested or looking and going into supply chain management. This is the student that I kind of worked with this weekend. You might want to talk about how you're doing that in your current job outside of school. You did it in the classroom setting that we're in as well, and now you want to try to take that next step and make a career out of it. That is how LinkedIn starts to figure out what types of jobs to show you. So know that there's a lot of sophisticated algorithm in there that's going to help you be able to see the things that are most relevant to you within this professional website. So let me know if you have any questions. I think that's all I wanted to go through. Keep plugging away. I can't wait to see where you guys end up by the time we get to slide number 10. Talk to you later. Bye.